I'm Michael from Carol's Country House. This is Stephen. Stephen joined us back in November of last year.
Correct.
Correct. And you're here with...
My wife Anne and my two lovely dogs, Radley and Lottie.
You had a flood at home.
Mm-hmm.
And when you discovered it, what happened?
Well, it was in the middle of October.
Okay.
We'd just been out for the day with the family, and Anne and I came back home, and we found that there'd been a burst water main up on the main road, Horsham Road, just outside where we live.
Okay.
And the water was starting to seep through the front door and the windows, and there was about, in the end, 4 to 5 inches of water on the ground floor.
Right. So you've got 2 dogs.
We have indeed, Radley and Lottie.
And once you came to this horror,
Yes.
yeah, what did you do?
Well, what we did, Anne actually took the 2 dogs out to our kennels, which we use.
Okay.
When we go on holiday and places like that, because we needed the dogs away from it, because they were paddling around in the water and everything else and getting quite anxious about the situation, especially the youngest dog, Lottie, because she was getting really upset about it and everything else. So the dogs were taken to the kennels, and then we stayed overnight in the house, and then Southern Water got in contact with us that morning and offered us accommodation at the Premier Inn, which we stayed in for 17 nights. But during that time we stayed there, we were worried about the dogs and being in kennels for that quite a length of time. Because when you go on holiday, you know that you're going to be away there for about 14 nights or something else. But this was a very open-ended sort of situation, so we didn't know, because there's very small steps, because you've never been in this sort of situation before, so you start to working things out. And once we got in touch with the insurance company and they gave us a loss adjuster, then things started to move.
So once you sort of got over the initial emergency, you went to the Premier Inn for 17 nights.
Yeah.
Yeah. How did you cope without the dogs? Did you get to see them?
No, because obviously we were everything else, and because the dogs become part of your family. They're the important part of your family. They're with us 24/7, if you like.
Yes,
and since I've been retired, the dogs are more with me, because Anne still works. The dogs are with me, so it is a very hard wrench about not having them around with you.
So at what point did you say, that's enough, we need to find somewhere more suitable?
Well, the point came after having a discussion with our loss adjuster, and he said that because Anne and I decided to move back in for a short period.
Okay.
And then after speaking with him, he said, you need to find somewhere, I really need you out of the house, because of obviously we need to dry the house thoroughly before we can get the contractors and everything else. So Anne's very good whiz on the internet, and that's when she found Carol's. We'd been looking at other places, and that's when she came to Carol's, and she left me a list. Will you please phone this number? And that's when I first spoke to Dan, asking what the accommodation was like and could we bring the dogs, and that's when the process started.
So you found a number of accommodations.
Yeah.
That was available. Did they all take dogs or not?
We were looking for somewhere that was dog friendly.
Yeah.
And
Did you find many of them?
There was a few.
Okay.
But this one, Carol's, was the one that we thought would be the best for us, because it was in Faygate, which is about between, as we know, Faygate is between Crawley and Horsham.
Okay.
And Faygate is about 3 miles away from where we live now, in Crawley.
First of all, did you view any other? You didn't?
No, we didn't. I mean, Dan set us up with an interview with Tracy beginning of November. as soon as there was a rapport between Tracy, Anna, myself straight away, we knew that within this rapport and what we were shown with the apartment we had was given, where we are still at the moment, that it suited our needs perfectly.
Okay. Okay. And within the space of time where you viewed Carol's, and how long did it take for you to move in? Was it a couple of days or?
Because Anne was still working for the NHS on shifts. What we used to do was that we stayed in the house for about 4 nights. Beginning of November, we signed the agreement that we'd come in, and I would bring over the bits and pieces that we actually needed in the apartment that we felt that. Like the dogs' cages, etc. Things like that. Okay. So we brought those in. We brought a few of our own bits and pieces in, like the coffee maker, and a few other bits and pieces that we need, and like bedding. We brought throws in, and some of our own crockery and things like that to use, and mugs. So
you moved in gradually?
We moved in gradually over a space of, I would say, about 4 days.
Did you find, we often get asked this question about people bringing in their own personal belongings to make themselves more comfortable. Did you feel that that was a good thing, that you could just bring in your linen, your...
I think it's basically is that I think if you bring a certain amount of home comforts around in somewhere where you're going to stay, although everything is there for you, it does give you that little added assurance and everything else. And
how did the dogs like it?
The dogs were fine because they were with us.
Okay.
And even though I had to go down 2 flights of stairs, I don't mind. It keeps me fit.
Okay. Apart from the apartment and the facilities itself, which I want to come back to, in a minute. Did you find that the grounds, the large 5-acre garden, an added bonus with your dogs?
Oh yes, I do. Yes, I did. Okay. Because obviously that you could either walk around the car park,
okay,
or you could on a very lovely day like this, or when we had the snow.
Yeah.
I would let Radley off the lead out the front, and he used to love it. Okay. Round there, just going out the front of the house and just running round. Okay. If I'd let Lottie off, I think I would have had to have a search party from Carol's to go and find her because she's a typical terrier.
Okay, okay. Nowadays, with it being unsafe, for many dogs, you hear of all sorts of horror stories. Did you find that walking around the grounds, exercising your dog, is an added bonus for you?
I think it's an added bonus for us, especially in the times we are at the moment with the pandemic. That being out in the country, you're not in a town or a city or things like that where there is a lot of people around. It's a case of that you can walk the dogs and everything else. Now, what I have found very good is that since we've been here, Michael, is that you've erected the floodlighting round the swimming pool, round the fish pool. Fish pond. And the thing about it is that while those lights are on and everything else, it gives you that certain bit of safety that you can walk around there, especially around about 10 o'clock or 11 o'clock at night when you're taking your dogs out for the last walk for the evening, so they can settle down. And I have found that very, very beneficial.
Going back to when you came to see Tracy.
Yes.
Yeah. You saw the place, obviously. And did you find that the facility of no deposit, pay 1 week in advance, and you move in and stay for as long as you need to in an open-ended stay agreement, did you find that helpful?
I think I think yes, I did find it. Both of us found that helpful for the simple reason. Although our accommodation's being paid by the insurance company,
Yeah.
It's a good thing is that people can come to like Carol's and they can pay their week's deposit. They can move in when they can. There's no deposit to pay. There's no upfront charges or anything else like that, except for the electricity. It means that they can move in and they can go by week or month by month,
Yeah.
not having to worry. If you think about the cost of what it pays for an apartment with a dog, okay?
Right.
And I mentioned this to Tracy, and I've mentioned you in the past, Michael, right? I know how much it costs to put two dogs in a kennel per night.
Oh, yeah. Yes.
Okay, and if you take that to the cost of a hotel, Carol's is value for money.
Thank you. I never thought of it that way until you mentioned it. So say if you're taking an apartment for £80 per night,
Yeah.
and you have got the kennel bill coming in at £30 per night.
Basically, if you think you've got your dogs in here with you and you're paying £80 a night,
Yeah.
you're then if you didn't have your dogs, you'd be paying an additional £30 on top of that for the two dogs to stay in a kennel.
Yes.
Take the 30 from the 80, and therefore you're staying for £50 a night. Work it that way.
So yeah, amazing. So you only be paying
Exactly.
£50. Yes, I never thought of it that way.
Well, the thing about it is dog friendly, and it serves the purpose. You've only got to look how my two dogs have taken to you.
Yeah.
And it's a
absolutely.
shame they can't be with us today, but I would never have got Radley and Lottie to settle, to be perfectly honest.
Yeah.
But no, as I say, I've enjoyed my stay here, and I advocate that if people are in a need of somewhere quick and easy to stay, this is the place for them. Whether you're a professional person between jobs or between offices or during this pandemic, or whether you're a person that's moving from one home to another and you need a quick fix to stay, this is the place. Or if there's something that's happened to you in your personal life, and you need to be out while you sort things out with your personal life, here it is.
Yeah. One of the things that I thought was very handy, or one of the pluses when I came to Carol's, so many years ago, was the private car park.
Yeah, exactly.
Not having to park your car on the road.
And now that you've got the added security with the lights out in the car park for that period of time, the cars are secure here.
We have got a number of people who work from home.
Exactly.
Especially during lockdown.
Yeah.
And that has been very easy for them as well.
Exactly.
They, with the internet, with whatever, it make it, pretty easy.
Yeah. And they feel safe. They feel safe and they're secure.
Absolutely.
And especially in these times at the moment. So Carol's serves a purpose.
And it serves a wide variety of people.
Exactly.
Stephen, it's been lovely having you on the show.
Oh, that's nice.
Thank you so much for coming. You've covered all the main aspects, of Carol's, and you have been a brilliant client here, to stay with us. You and Anne and your two lovely dogs, Lottie and Radley. I wish they were here. I love them to bits. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Michael.